So as you may know, there's several different types of testing you can do on your software or website, and today I want to talk about acceptance testing and how awesome it really is. First of all, I have this website here. It's a word counting website. It's pretty basic on the surface, at least. I can type in some words. You can see it's all JavaScript based because it's updating instantly. It says 4 words, 15 characters. So really the main part of this website is counting words and characters. It's not all that exciting. But there's some more features to it, which I'll go over in a minute. And then over here you can see it tells you again the words and the characters, and then it also goes into sentences, paragraphs, reading level, reading time, what kind of keywords show up. And there's actually some more options that I don't have turned on right now. But anyways, so there's actually quite a bit of code behind this to make this all work. And if you have multiple developers, or even if it's just yourself working on it, adding new features, sometimes it can break. And it might not just break this word count or the character count, but it could break other things like possibly the spell checker, or I'll just show you this case button real quick. If you click that and you say uppercase, then you have uppercase text, of course, and lowercase and whatnot. We have a clear button, which doesn't appear to be working at all right now. That's interesting. Well, there you go. That's a reason for acceptance testing right there, because what I could have done is written a test to make sure that when I click that clear button, there's nothing that shows up in this field. So in fact, I think we'll go ahead and write a test for that today. And then just real quickly, I also have this options button here where I can turn on all kinds of additional options and whatnot for word counter. So let's write a test. It's going to add some text into this box automatically, and then it's going to make sure that whatever text I had it write, that it's going to show that many words and characters up here, and it needs to show that many words and characters here, and that many sentences and that many paragraphs. So let's write a test real quick for that. So I started my test already. So far all it has is what I want to do in the test, and that is I want to ensure that the home page works properly. So really all that's going to happen here is it's like a story. You can think of it as a story, and all this is just telling me what the test is going to do. And on this line, we are actually loading the page, so it's just making sure that it goes to the correct address, or the correct page, and then it's going to wait 5 seconds. And the reason I have this wait time in here is just because when I'm shooting a video, it's easier to see what's going on if we put some wait times in there. So I'm going to add some more in for our test. So the first thing we need to do is we need to write some text in here, right? So we're going to say I fill field, and then it's going to take a field and a value. So the field is either a CSS selector or XPath or a field name. There's a lot of different options, but I just know that field name is that ID of that field is called box. In fact, if I inspect element, you can see right here ID box. So that's what I'm going to use here. And I just say ID box, and then I say I want to fill it in with this is a test, so is this. So if I were to run this test now, it should fill in this text from here into the box. But that's not really a complete test. We need to do something now that we've filled in the box, we need to probably check this string up here and make sure that it says the correct number of words and characters. So how many words and characters do we have? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 words. So let's check that first. We need to get the element. So let's take a look here. And the element is counted. And it's a class, not an ID. So we're going to say IC. I guess, so it wants the text first. So IC text is going to be 7 words and something characters. And this is in the counted class. So how many characters is that? Well, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. Okay, 27. I guess I could have copied that in here, huh? And that would have told me. So let's write 27 there. Okay, so now at this point the test should fill in the box with this text right here, and then it's going to check and make sure that it sees this text on the page somewhere, but it has to match this element, so it has to be in this counted class element. Now this test is going to pass because the code here is working correctly. It's saying it's 7 words, 27 characters. This is correct. But if our code was wrong and this were returning 26 characters, then the test would fail, and we would know that we need to go into our code and fix this. So I'm going to go ahead and real quickly pause the video, and I'm going to add a bug into my code which causes this to return 26 instead of 27. And then we're going to run the test and see what happens. Okay, so I modified my code, so it's basically I just did whatever the character count was, I did -1. So this is not correct. This is not 26 characters. There's a bug in my code now, and my test should tell me that. So let's go ahead and run the test and see what happens. So it's telling me there's one failure, like I would expect, and it's saying I see 7. It tries to see if there's 7 words and 27 characters, but instead it found 7 words and 26 characters in 2 different elements that match my .counted class name. I actually have 2 elements. There's one here and there's one here as well. So it checked both of those and said that they do not contain 7 words, 27 characters. So the test failed, and it tells me, why it failed, and I can go and I can fix my code now. So I'm going to go ahead and do that real quick. Let's see, it's right here. Okay. So now if I run my test, it should pass. Yep, and it says it passed now. It looked in the field, and it did find 7 words and 27 characters. I actually have to refresh this page. This is a different page. There we go. So let's do some more testing. We know that this is working correctly now. Let's check over here in these details and make sure these are showing up correctly as well. So I would expect to see 7, 27, 2, 1, and 4th grade, and 1 mins as well when I type in this text. So we need to write some assertions for those. So what is this field here? Well, we can inspect it, and we see that it's an ID of word count. What about the next one? It's an ID of character count. And this is going to be sentence count and paragraph count. And this is going to be reading level, and this is going to be reading time. So let's go ahead and write those in real quick. I see, we can just put 7. And this is in the word count class. I see 27. And this is in the character count class. I see, is it 2? Yeah. And this is the sentence class. I see 1 paragraph. I see 4th grade reading level. I see 1 minute reading time. And let's go ahead and run the test and see what happens. It gets our page, it waits 5 seconds, and the rest of the test should go really quick. Okay, so there was actually a failure, which is unexpected. I didn't think we would have a failure, but I must have typed something in wrong. So let's see what we got here. Failed to ensure the word counter homepage works properly. I see 7 word count element located by either name, CSS, or XPath. Word count was not found. So it must not be called word count. Oh, those are supposed to be IDs. These are not classes, these are IDs. So that was my problem right there. Alright, let's run it again. Yeah, so all the tests pass. You can see how quick it went. It checked all those fields pretty much instantly. And I can keep going. So earlier on we were trying out the clear button and it just didn't work. What it's supposed to do is you click it and it clears all the text out from the box, but instead what's going on is I click it and it's highlighting everything, so obviously it's not working at all. And I said we should write a test for that, so let's go ahead and do that. So the way the test is going to work is we're going to tell our test to click the button, and then we're going to check this text area and make sure it's got nothing in it. So obviously the test should fail. So to do this, we're going to say I click, and we're going to click on the clear button, which I gave a ID of clear, and then I see in field, which field? The box field. I see nothing. So this should fail. And let's move this wait statement down here. Okay, so what it's saying is I see in field box nothing. That's what it's trying to do. But instead, it failed testing for nothing in that text area. Instead, it found this is a test, so is this. So the text area is not blank, it's got text in it, and therefore the test has not passed. So at this point, I would know that I need to go in and fix that bug. So let's do one more test for this video, and we're going to actually comment out that last one because it's failing, and I don't have the time to fix that bug at the moment. So let's test the let's test the goal button. So what does the goal button do? Well, if you click it, what you can do is enter the number of characters or words or sentences or paragraphs you want to set a goal for. So I want to know when I've typed in 10 words. And you can see when I do that, I have this nice little box here. It says your goal is 10 words, and so far you have 3 left to write. So I've written 7, I have 3 more to write. So I would expect that when I click that goal button and I fill in this field with 10 and then I click the set button, that I'm going to see this box here and it's going to say 3 left to write in it. And it's also going to say your goal is 10 words. So there's a lot of steps here, but we can definitely accomplish this in our test. So the first step is to click the goal button, of course. So let's see what that element is. And it's just going to be an ID of goal. So let's go ahead and do that. I click goal, and after I click goal, I actually want it to wait about a second just because I want to give it time for this model to pop up. So we're going to say I wait 1, and then in this field I want to type in a 10, so we need to find the field and it's goal quantity. So I fill field goal quantity, and I fill it with 10. Alright, and then I want to click the set button, and that's going to be set goal button is the ID for that. So I click that, and then so that's going to set it. And then what I expect to see, since we've already got text here, this is from a previous step in our test up here, I expect that we're going to see these words in the top. So let's see where those are. So in the goal title, I see this stuff. Right? And then let's do one more test. In the bottom text, in the duration, which is a class, duration, 3 left to right, I think is what it said. Yeah, 3 left to right. So that's what I expect to see. If I don't see these things, we're going to get a failure. So let's see what happens. Every test passed, and it appears it's working great. So in just about 20 minutes, and I've gone through it very slowly, so you could have done it much quicker, but we've written a test which has made sure our clear button works correctly, it makes sure our goal button works correctly, and it makes sure that we have the correct number of words and characters shown, as well as sentences, paragraphs, reading level, and reading time. So you can easily see how we would write some more tests to go and check the keyword densities, check these other buttons as well. It really, in probably an hour, I could have all the tests written for this page. And then in the future, when my developers or myself are making changes, I just go in, run the test, and I don't have to do any of this manual testing. So check out some of my other videos. I'm going to go over unit testing and possibly functional testing as well. Although, from what I can tell, functional testing is basically the same thing as acceptance testing. So anyways, we'll see.